and broadcasting stations. It's time for Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Now let's have some fun. Here is your host, Johnny Radio.
It's a great new intro. Unfortunately, Johnny Radio is not here to, I don't know what you would, not culminate, because that's the end, to kick off the brand new intro. He's out of town this week. He's on vacation. Where is he, Bryant?
I have no idea.
Well,
I think somewhere down in the Caribbean, maybe.
Somewhere where the beach is.
Yeah.
Because he's been working on his beach bod.
Good for him.
But he's not here today. I am. I'm Jay Morgan. Harder is my last name. This is Bryant. Dacus is his last name.
Hello.
He's in here with me this week, and we're going to be holding the fort down. Now, Bryant, I almost called you John because I'm so used to doing this with John. But now that we've set the stage for what's going to happen this week, we have to talk about the biggest story in sports. Obviously, from the weekend, I'm sure it's been talked on Sports 56 all morning. It's been talked about nationally all morning.
The Masters.
The Formula One race in Australia
that was
this
a good
weekend.
race.
The Australian Grand Prix. It was a
race.
midnight race on Saturday. Yeah, that's right.
But it was a day race in Australia. It was the first day race of the season in F1.
Maybe well, there was light out. Okay?
It was an afternoon, evening affair.
I don't know the hour differences.
Yeah.
Good morning, Carlos. Carlos Yates says
Hey, Carlos.
good morning to us. But point is that the biggest story of the weekend is Charles Leclerc. I mean, winning that. So Ferrari has won all of the races thus far.
Was he wire to wire?
He was wire to wire. He won by like 20, 25, or 21 seconds, I believe is what he won by. Big story is Max Verstappen DNFing yesterday.
What was that about?
So that's his second mechanical failure. It was his fuel smelled funny.
Yeah, he was smelling some
and
fuel.
Yeah, that's right. He was smelling fuel.
I put some money on him to win the whole thing.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Sergio Perez, his Red Bull teammate, finished second. And he asked during the race, what's the problem with Max's car? It does not concern you. Don't worry about it. Keep racing. Which is ridiculous. His teammate, but they didn't want to bother him with it or whatever. Mercedes finished 3-4. First time both guys in the points this year. Lando Norris for McLaren, a huge race. He finished
Baby
fifth.
boy Lando.
Oh, baby Lando, man.
Oh,
we
not
love
baby boy
no,
Lando.
just baby Lando.
Lando.
Well, it's
Gotcha.
good that you're informed on the biggest story of the weekend. Esteban Ocon for Alpine led the way for them, and Valerie Bottas for Alfa Romeo. He finished 8th, so there's some good point finishes for those guys. It was a great race, honestly.
Great race.
You didn't stay up and watch it, I'm assuming.
No, I was a little under the weather.
You sound a little under the weather,
I did
Brian.
not stay up for it. It's allergies. Allergy season.
That's not what you told me.
Well, it might be a sinus infection.
Might be a sinus infection.
Might be.
Because you don't like blowing your nose, apparently, right?
I don't. When I was little, I hated blowing my nose. I refused to blow my nose.
Yeah, why would you want to blow
now
your
I
nose?
blow my nose.
It's a terrible feeling.
Not probably as much as I
Well,
should.
the second biggest story of the weekend, Brian, is obviously
the Masters.
John Conchar getting a triple-double yesterday in the
awesome.
Grizzlies game.
That was
a
awesome.
huge 17, 13, and 10 night for Jitty.
Yeah.
John Conchar in
none of the starters playing.
In a 139 to 110 loss. So kind of a bad loss.
But hey, the Celtics were playing for something the Grizzlies weren't.
Well, except for bragging rights, I mean, it seemed
True.
like they were playing for John Conchar to get that triple-double. But it was off the heels of a 30-point win the night before over the Pelicans.
Over the Pels.
So you give up, you score 150 one night, you give up 150 the next night. So a big weekend for the Grizzlies.
Do you
Thoughts,
think,
Bryant?
well, here was the biggest thought. This was the argument going on in the Dacus household last night.
Discussion, not an argument.
No, it's an argument.
Oh, okay. You and your brother?
No, me
you
and
Pops?
Me and my mom.
Oh,
actually.
you and your mom.
What's
your mom's name?
Amy.
Shout out Amy Dacus.
Yeah, she's teaching right now.
Oh, she's not listening.
Is John Morant actually a St. Louis Cardinals fan?
He was wearing a Cardinals hat. Well, that's just a good-looking hat, too.
That's what I said. It matched the outfit. That's why I wore it.
You think?
Mm-hmm. There was red. It was a gray set, and it had red in it, and so the red hat brought out the red in the.
So you don't think he's a Cardinals fan?
I
But
don't
you can
think
wear
he's
any
actually
red
a
hat at
Cardinals.
that point, then.
Yeah, but I think
like Supreme is red.
Maybe it was a kind of what's the term?
I don't know.
The saying olive branch
to the birds.
To Jason Tatum, who's from St. Louis.
I see.
Saying, come over to Memphis.
So when I was coaching Division III basketball, shout out Rhodes Link, shout out Birmingham Southern Panthers, I would wear the shoes. I have different shoes, sneakers, and I would wear the color sneakers of our opponent.
To intimidate them?
I had one coach on our staff tell me that you should not wear the colors of your opponent when you're playing them. To me, it's just like a nice tribute, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you put on, this is your costume. I don't know if costume's the right word either. But it's your costume for the game against that opponent.
Right.
So maybe that's what Ja was doing, like
Maybe.
you said, maybe for that. Not the only NBA player yesterday wearing an MLB apparel. Did you see who the
I'm
other
sorry,
one was?
who was the other one? I missed that.
DeJounte Murray had his Mariners gear on because I believe
Oh,
he went to
he's a
school at
Mariners guy.
Washington. He went to Washington, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, I believe he went to Washington. So he was wearing his Mariners stuff yesterday
Shout out to Mariners.
to culminate in a great first weekend in opening day baseball, which
Yeah.
actually
No,
nationally.
he's actually from Seattle. He was born in Seattle.
there you go. And he-
Even more ties.
and he went to Washington,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he went to Washington.
Yeah, that's right. So he's from Seattle, big Mariners fan. So your guess is as good as ours if John Morant's a Cardinals fan. We want to know if you think John Morant's a
Yeah.
Cardinals fan. Call and text us. What's the number, Bryant? Because I don't have it.
The
in front of me.
AutoZone listener line, 901-360-8255.
And we're taking calls.
We are.
We're taking calls. We'll put you on any questions you have
Mm-hmm.
for Bryant Dacus. Bryant Dacus is sitting in the captain's chair today, so your calls go directly to Bryant, obviously, and we can answer those for you regardless of what the subject is. But yeah, DeJounte Murray wearing Mariners gear, John Morant wearing Cardinals gear. So a huge day in opening day baseball. Which
Oh,
actually,
he was like wearing the jersey. I didn't know that.
No, it was like the warm up, the jacket or whatever, right?
I mean, this looks like a jersey to me.
Oh, he had the full gear on yesterday.
Yeah,
wow.
he posted that on his Twitter.
about
And it has
that?
Murray on the back. It was like a customized
That's his name.
jersey. Yeah, thanks.
That's right, and his number. How
Yeah,
about that?
how about
do
that?
you get when you get customized jersey, Bryant's? Do you get a blank one so it stays there for a while? Do you get the name of a player you like, or do you get it personalized with Dacus on the back?
See, I haven't actually gotten a jersey
Ever?
in
Never
a
had a
while.
jersey.
I think. Let's see. The last jersey
This just in: Bryant Dacus
I
never worn a jersey
purchased
before.
was probably a Josh Hamilton Texas Rangers jersey.
Because you're a Rangers fan.
I was a Rangers.
So you're
fan.
still a Rangers fan.
I'm
So
not
you were
still-
very upset with
I'm
John Morant's
not.
Cardinals hat on.
No, I love
You know,
the Cardinals
Brett
now.
Norsworthy of Sports Time with Gabe and Stats always gives you credit for being a Cardinals
I am a
fan.
Cardinals
and,
fan.
and the funny thing is you're really not a Cardinals
I
fan, are
am
you,
a-
Brian?
I am a Cardinals
See,
fan.
but you're not though, because
I
you
am.
hate David Freese. You don't
I
like
don't
Albert.
David Freese. I never said I didn't like
Well,
Albert.
but you didn't like Albert until as far as you're concerned, this is the first time Albert's ever played for the Cardinals.
That's not true.
I think it kind of is true, Brian. And so for that reason and for those reasons only, I feel like you're not a Cardinals fan. Let's ask the listeners that question as well. Bryant Dacus started being a Cardinals baseball fan in 2018.
That's
before
not
that,
true.
Before that, he liked the Rangers and hated David Freese
That's
and
not
Albert
true.
Pujols. So
That's
you answer
also
it
not true.
on the text line and the call line. Is Bryant Dacus a Cardinals fan? Yes or no? Remind him the number one more time, Bryant.
901-360-8255.
So you guys can flood us with texts and calls saying that Bryant Dacus.
I'll tell you when I started being
He's a Rangers fan.
Cardinals fan.
It was like 2020, right?
It was not 2020.
It was during the pandemic.
It was 2013.
It was like a month ago you started cheering for him?
2013, 2014.
So it was right after they beat your favorite
No,
team.
no.
So it was the season
No,
after
no,
they
no,
beat your
no,
favorite
no,
team,
no,
and you
no,
said,
no.
"Screw these guys! I'm cheering for the
No,
Cardinals.
that makes
They're
me sound-
winners."
that makes
so
me sound
really,
like a bandwagon.
well,
That's
you
not
kind of
true.
are though,
No, that's
Brian.
not true.
I mean, it seems like it.
Do you want me to inform you on what actually happened?
Please do.
Okay, so I went down. A family friend of ours went to SMU. So every year
Go Stangs.
we would go down
Pony
to
up.
SMU. We'd try to go when the Tigers were playing down there. If they were playing down there that year, we'd go. Well, this one year, me and my whole family being the Dallas Cowboys fans we are,
Good boys.
we went and toured AT&T Stadium. And so
Jerry World.
Jerry's World. And so while we were down there, it was while the Rangers were in one of their playoff pushes. And so
They make it?
everybody, they did. I think that year they lost maybe to the Yankees in the playoffs?
2013?
I don't remember. No, this wasn't 2013. This was probably 2010, maybe?
Okay.
2009. And we were down there. I mean, people were electric down there for the Rangers
Oh, yeah?
baseball. I mean, they were fired up. We went to a Texas Roadhouse, maybe. And the game was on. Place was packed. Rangers fans everywhere. And it was my first time being in an MLB atmosphere. And so I was like, yeah, this is nice. So I started following the Rangers, fell in love with Josh Hamilton, and followed him. Then they make it to the World Series. They unfortunately lose to the Cardinals. Then I think the year after that, or maybe 2 years after that, was Josh Hamilton's contract year. They're playing the Orioles. They lose to the Orioles, and it knocks them out. I think that might have been the wild card game or something. I don't remember. But it knocks them out. They're done for the season. And the Rangers fans boo Josh Hamilton.
Wow.
And then Josh Hamilton walks away from his contract, and goes and signs to the Angels. I didn't like that. That didn't sit well with Bryant Dacus.
So that's when you jump ship then.
Well, plus I couldn't watch games. I wasn't old enough to make money, so I didn't have MLB.TV where I could watch every game. So I figured probably need to find a new team. I'm not really a fan anymore. I don't get to watch them. And so I was a free agent for a couple years. Then I went to a St. Louis Cardinals game. They were playing the Detroit Tigers. And a great experience.
Yeah.
And
it switched you.
became a Cardinals fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
St. Louis
story.
will do that for you.
Is that right?
Yeah, it will.
What a story.
Yeah.
I can't find the year you were talking about where that happened to the Rangers. I've been looking for it the entire time you've been talking. The year you gave was not correct because they went to the World Series that year and lost to the Giants.
2010?
2010
Maybe
they
it
lost
was
to the Giants in the World
2011.
Series. No, 2011 was when they lost to the Cardinals in the World Series.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll find that year for you later in the show. Also, Carlos Yates asked us, do we have an Ozzie Smith rookie card? Maybe that's the stipulation for being a Cardinals fan.
I don't have an Ozzie Smith rookie
Neither
card.
do I, Carlos, but I am a Cardinals fan. Do you guys collect baseball cards? I definitely do, Bryant. Collect baseball cards? Yes or no?
I don't. My brother is a big baseball card collector.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you? You just never... Because you're a Rangers fan. You didn't have any reason.
I don't know why I never really collected
It
cards.
just didn't interest you.
I wouldn't say it didn't interest me. It always interested me. I don't know. But my brother's big into it.
Huge into
He
it.
has like a
What's the best
couple-
card he has?
He has some. I think he has some MJ cards actually.
Mike, that's Michael Jordan, right?
That's Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson, however you're talking about it.
Well, that's good that the pristine cards you have are the AAA Birmingham Barons baseball cards.
No. These are basketball cards. I thought we were just talking about cards in general.
No, baseball
I
specifically.
don't
That's
know.
a basketball
I don't
card.
know what his best baseball card. He has a whole like book of like cards.
Right.
He actually has every D'Angelo Williams card from college to when he retired, which is kind of cool.
D-Will.
Yeah. So that is what it is.
That's a football card. though,
Carlos
again.
also asked, "Are there any stores in the Memphis area that buy baseball cards? I'm trying to sell some. I know there used to be a store in Germantown that was big on cards. I don't know if it's still there or
any
not.
comic book store probably sells and
Yeah.
buys baseball cards, I would bet. I don't even know how many comic book stores exist anymore. You know, Amazon is taking
Kinda
all
took
these.
over.
Yeah, they're really taking over.
Well, now with technology, you can just read comics and stuff on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer. So
How about that?
how about it?
Anyway, Bryant, we have to get to the third. That leads us nicely into our third biggest story of this sports weekend, which was
Scotty Scheffler winning the Masters.
MLB opening weekend. It was a great weekend
great
in
weekend.
Major League Baseball, undoubtedly. Some really great games. The Marlins 1-2 this weekend. Tough weekend for the Fish.
Except they won the one day I needed them to lose.
Bet against Pablo.
I just bet against the Marlins in general.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Just because?
Just because.
Just because you see, that's the way you bet, kind of, Brian. Is I tell you something that I'm really excited about, you spite me
You
and
didn't
bet
tell
against
me
it.
anything about the Marlins
Well,
that
that's
day,
my mistake.
actually.
Well, that's my mistake then. Well, today, Bryant, there's some good games as well. You got the Cardinals playing today. Dak back on the mound after a little season injury last year. He's throwing against, I believe this is Zach Thompson. Is that right? That's right. Zach Thompson. Had to click on his name to make sure. So he's pitching against Zach Thompson. That's a good game. Taijuan Walker on the bump today for the first time for the Mets. They play the Phillies. We hate watching the Phillies. Hate Phillies. But Mets are 3-1 off to a hot start. Bryant, Mets to win the NL? Question mark?
I had them winning the whole thing in
Do you really
in
on
our
sports
preseason
time?
predictions on sports time.
You're a lunatic. Later, also, the Marlins play tonight at 8:30 game, a late one against the Angels. They're starting that series. You know who's on the bump today?
Who's on the bump today?
Eleazar
There you
Hernandez.
go.
Well, it's
Okay.
hard to pronounce sometimes.
No,
They call
yeah.
him Lido.
Just-
And then tomorrow, you know who's on the bump for the Marlins?
I do not know.
Jesus Luzardo gets his
Oh.
first start. So it's a big week in baseball for the
Uh,
Fish specifically. Any teams you're excited? Did you watch the Michael K. A-Rod cast last night?
I did not.
Of
Was it
course
good?
not. It seems like you were really well prepared today, Brian.
Was it good? I mean,
no,
I
it was
just didn't
terrible.
watch
It was awful. It was.
That's what
it was
Did you
horrendous.
watch? Speaking of awful, did you watch either of? I don't think you did. I think you were at a wedding or something. Did you watch either of the Apple TV Plus games?
No, that replaced the YouTube games now, right? The Apple TV is the
Oh,
new
does
YouTube
it?
game. I think so.
I didn't know that. I just
Well,
thought it
maybe
was a
not.
new
I could be
thing.
wrong, but no, I didn't watch. Who played on Apple TV?
So it was the first game was the Mets and the Nationals. The second game
those Mets.
was the Astros and the Angels.
So that was Saturday. Then.
That was Saturday. No, it was Friday. It was Friday night. It was the Friday night games.
Good games, bad broadcast. Tell me about it.
It was good games, bad broadcast. I didn't watch the Mets
Who's
one.
on the call?
I forget. Let me look it up.
I see.
But I heard the first one. I mean, but it was also Mets fans. Mets fans are very
loud.
I guess you could say loud.
Opinionated. Hate their team.
They were pretty mad about it. They didn't like it. They said they didn't talk about the game at all. There was no commentary about the actual game.
No commentary on the
talk.
I didn't learn anything about my Mets today. So they were upset about that. Seems like that's what you're saying.
Yeah, it just didn't sound like they were, too excited.
How do you think Red Sox fans feel that last night for a national TV game, Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez
Well, but that was on ESPN2. You could watch the regular.
But they're both that's true. But they're both
ESPN.
Yankee guys, so it's not. Talk about unbiased. I mean, that's certainly the most biased it could possibly be. Although they had Big Papi on, they had your boy Julio on. Mm-hmm. He was a terrible. interview.
Julio was on.
Terrible.
Rodriguez.
Interview. Yeah, it was the worst interview I've ever heard. That guy.
Why? What'd he say?
That guy's nothing. He's not interesting at all. He's one of the most uninteresting people I've ever heard. I think. Well, I mean, that's the problem with baseball. If we can get down to the nitty gritty, is all these guys are boring as bleep. Like none of these guys say anything interesting. They're all like quarterbacks. I mean, they're all quarterbacks. No one says anything interesting. Everyone's worried about saying the right or wrong thing. It is the most boring thing to hear interviews with these guys.
In particular, did he say?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. He didn't say anything. They would ask him questions. First of all, A-Rod, so he asked him a question. He goes, I was drafted by the Mariners, because A-Rod always has to make it about himself. He says, I was drafted by the Mariners. I love being a part of that organization. Tell me what they've done for you guys. Obviously a first-class place. And Julio goes, oh, yes, first-class organization. They do it the right way. They do all the right stuff. I mean, shut up. Either tell them, say that they're a losing franchise, or don't say anything at all.
Say that.
Well, then don't say anything at all. Then I mean, just
I have them making the playoffs this year.
Why? Just because of one player on the team?
I think they had a good
and they got Jesse Winker.
Mm-hmm. And they got into it yesterday.
Tell me about it.
So, Jesse's, going after a ball. They're both kind of going back after a ball. It's in left center. Jesse has the beat on it, and I can't hear who's calling who off, but I'm assuming Jesse is calling it. Well, of course, center fielder has priority.
As you learned when you played Little League.
When I played Little League.
Obviously that applies to all levels of baseball. Of course.
I was an outfielder.
That's right. So experience.
So center fielder Julio Rodriguez is running in. They almost collide, and Jesse Winker hasn't had the best health in recent years. He's been a little injury prone. So they almost collided.
Did he get hurt last year?
And I don't know if he got hurt last year, but he's had some injuries past couple of seasons. Okay. And so he gets up and just starts going after Julio. I mean, he makes the catch. They almost collide, and he just starts going after Julio, telling him, hey, that's my ball. It's not yours. And so they almost collide. They didn't collide, but, I think, what do you think about it? I mean, who in that – does Julio need that lesson of, hey, when someone says they got it, well, this is the MLB, this is the show. Let him get it.
Don't ask me, Brian. I want to hear what you're the one that had thoughts about it. Should he let him get it? You love Julio.
I mean,
so you're just going to blindly support Julio. If I had to guess what your opinion is blindly supporting Julio. Who is Jesse Winker? Who is Jesse Winker? One-time All-Star to call off Julio, who's the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. Mm-hmm. Am I close to what your opinion is?
I think if this is the MLB, if Winker's calling him off, you let him have it. I mean, that's a guy that's been around. He knows, if he's got it or not.
That's right.
That's my thoughts on it. But I have that team, the broadcast team for those 2 games. I don't have exactly who was in which game, but all in all, it was Melanie Newman, Chris Young, Hannah Kaiser, Brooke Fletcher, Steven Nelson, Hunter Pence, Katie Nolan, and Heidi Watney.
I saw Heidi Watney.
She was the field analyst
for
the second game.
I saw Katie Nolan.
Katie Nolan was on that second game. Hunter Pence was on the second game. And I think Steven Nelson was also on that second game.
Huh.
The second game wasn't terrible. I heard the first game was way worse than the second game.
Because Mets are loud-spoken, right outspoken. John, not John. I've called you John like 3 times
it's
now.
Okay.
Bryant, here's what I would say. Here's what I would say to Jesse Winker if I was Julio. I mean, how about you hit over 150 against lefties, and then I'll listen to what you had to say about fielding. Until we can put you in the field against both-handed pitchers, then you can talk to me about fielding balls. Thoughts?
I mean, why not? I mean,
thanks, Bryant.
Julio's had a great start to the season.
Has he? I thought all the rookies started terrible.
No, yeah, it's been a slow start.
The rookies, though.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, he has a better year than Bobby Witt Jr.? Question mark?
Yes.
What about Adley Rutschman, depending on when Adley can get up there?
Yes.
You like him against all of them?
I like him against everybody.
Why? Just because he's the guy
my
you picked?
Rookie of the Year pick.
He's just the guy you picked, so you have to stick with him, right?
I think he has a lot of potential.
Well, we are going to do the leadoff here,
Mm-hmm.
and I just am now realizing that I forgot to pull up the leadoff music. So I'm doing that right now as
Do
I
you have
talk
questions?
it out. Oh,
Are you asking me questions? Is this how this is going?
Well, here's how it works: is we're going to ask each other questions.
Okay.
I got a little bit different vibe here. What does John say when we start?
I'm in the box.
Okay, well, you have to throw it to me again. Now I'm ready. Okay, say it.
I'm in the box. There we go. That felt good. I felt like
good.
John in that
Yeah.
moment.
Well, you're the star of the show today.
I'm not.
Famously, I forgot to mention this earlier, is yesterday I asked Bryant what he wants to do today when he and I do the show, and he said, I don't care. It's your show. It's not mine. I'm not doing anything.
I didn't say that.
So, Bryant, I graciously offered him an olive branch to be a part of this show on Johnny Radio's Happy Hour today. He's sitting in the captain's chair. Doesn't even have to do any work.
No, you're
And I
paraphrasing.
throw all this at him. He says, I don't want to do it.
You're paraphrasing.
I don't feel like doing it.
No,
I said, you have any funny jokes to tell? He goes, I'm not a comedian.
I did say that.
You're not a comedian. There's
I'm
no
not.
doubt about that. Not funny at all. Brian, I got some questions for you today.
All right.
Listeners usually ask questions to John. I have compiled them in a series of note cards to save for a rainy day.
Okay.
So today I've got a couple for you today. This comes from Maddie in
Okay.
East Lansing, Michigan. And I always ask John if he's been to the place
No.
that he comes from. Well, I haven't asked you yet, Brian,
Oh,
so slow your roll, okay? This comes from Maddie in East Lansing, Michigan. Brian, you ever been to East Lansing?
I've never been to East Lansing. I've never been to Michigan.
You know what's in East Lansing?
Michigan State.
That's right.
Yeah.
Michigan Tom Izzo famously lives
Uh-huh.
there. Says, Dear Jay Morgan and Bryant. I don't know how Maddie
Wow.
knew we were going to be in here today. Says, Dear Jay Morgan and Bryant, what can be done to break the current stalemate in Washington between Republicans and Democrats? I don't understand the question. Next question, Bryant, comes from Tobias in Louisville, Kentucky. You ever been to Louisville, Bryant?
I don't think so.
Have you really never been to Louisville?
I don't think so.
You ever toured Louisville Slugger, the bat place? They'll give you a bat
No.
when you go to Louisville.
They'll just give you one?
Well, I think you have to buy it, but it's part of like the tour or
Oh,
something.
gotcha.
I've got a couple engraved with
I'm
my
actually
name on
thinking
them.
about going to Atlanta this summer.
It's not the same. This is from Tobias in Louisville, Kentucky. Says, Dear Bryant and Jay Morgan. Again, crazy they knew we would be here. What time you usually go to sleep at night?
Used to, it was like 3 in the morning. Now it's like closer to midnight. I'm kind of getting old now.
I usually go to bed at bedtime.
Oh.
One more question. Let's make sure it's a good one here. Oh, this is a good one here. This comes from Alex in Denver, Colorado. You ever been to Denver?
Never.
Have you been anywhere?
I've never been east of like Texas.
That's insane. This is from Alex in Denver, Colorado. Says,
No, west of Texas.
That's right.
I live east of
Yeah,
Texas.
you do live east of Texas. Glad you caught yourself. Alex in Denver, Colorado asked, Dear Brian and Jay Morgan, are you milk chocolate or dark chocolate kind of
Milk.
guys? Care to expand on that?
Wait, are we talking about just like chocolate in general?
Are you a milk chocolate or dark chocolate kind of guy? I don't understand how that is confusing.
Milk chocolate. I don't like dark. I mean, dark chocolate's okay.
You don't like dark chocolate?
I mean, I'm not saying. Isn't it healthy? Like healthier than milk chocolate?
Yeah, you get a little more energy from it too, I believe. It's like a little caffeine boost.
Oh, well, I'm just a milk chocolate guy. I grew up with milk chocolate, so I only eat dark chocolate if I have to.
I'm a dark chocolate guy.
Oh, okay.
We want to hear from you, though. Tell us what kind of chocolate guy you are. Breaks are the perfect time to call because that's when I'm not running my mouth. So you have something to say on any of the numerous questions we've asked. Give us a call. Give me the number again.
901-360-8255.
Or send us a text on any of the things we talked about. We're going to take a break. When we come back, maybe we talk about the Masters.
Maybe.
Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Get your afternoon started with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sang and Sports 56 Grind Time. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works over time with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios, grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers, everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Memphis's only Top Golf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
It's a new song. I don't know it.
I don't either.
It's a good one, though.
We should
Shazam it.
Shazam it. That's what I was gonna say. You know, Shazam comes on your phone now.
Really?
Yo,
I actually
download
have
the
seen
app.
that there's like a little app that when you when you slide up and you can change the brightness and volume.
Yeah,
and such,
no,
it's
I have
with
it. It's right there.
Don't show it to me. You should show it to the camera.
can-
Remember, we're on
you
live
can-
on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch,
You
and
can click it and it starts listening to the music, and you get a little notification that
Seems-
says what the song is.
seems like you missed your opportunity to do that right there.
Well, I mean, I don't know how I would have been able to.
Oh, that's right. You have headphones on.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Bryant, so we have to talk about this. We haven't talked about this story yet.
Okay.
Yesterday, in the last day of this was yesterday. It was crazy.
The NBA.
Yeah, that's exactly. How did you know?
Well, because yesterday was the
Facundo
last day of it.
Campazzo yesterday playing for the Nuggets. People are very adamant that the Nuggets are a dirty team. Remember earlier this year, you had Jokic, I forget what he did, but some at half court, he shoved somebody, and everyone was like, that's a dirty play, he's a dirty player, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. And, it was a Morris brother, right?
Yeah.
And then they got into it afterwards. That's right.
And then
it
his
was against the
brothers-
Heat.
And then his brothers made the Twitter
Yeah,
page.
and bought bought tickets to
Yeah.
the next game in Miami. That was really early in the season.
That was
Well,
early
what
in the
happened
season.
again yesterday? Facundo Campazzo, who is a young point. I don't know how young he is honestly, but he's a.
Is he the one that has the insane handles?
Yeah,
Everybody was
he's
hopping him
nasty.
up,
He's
hyping
very-
him up a couple years ago.
He's an incredible player that does things that other guys cannot do and have never tried to do and would never even attempt to do, and he's
Right.
nasty at them. But he, after going up, I think he went up for a layup or something happened. He's driving, and he felt like he got shoved out of bounds unfairly.
Who were they playing?
The Lakers, right?
Okay.
That had to be right because this is who this
Oh
guy
yeah,
plays
yeah.
for.
Because Mac McClung had the reverse dunk in overtime to end the game.
Okay. Well, Facundo Campazzo got shoved out of bounds,
Okay.
and then later during the play comes back in after a missed shot, and Wayne Ellington's getting boxed out by, I believe it was Uncle JG, Jeff Green, and he comes up there, Campazzo does, and two-arm shoves Wayne Ellington onto the ground. Then Wayne Ellington gets kicked in the head and
Wow.
lays on the ground there. It was kind of,
gets kicked in the. Was it like an intentional?
no,
kick
it was
to
by
the
his teammate, so it wasn't intentional.
head?
But
Ain't
it was
that a kick in the head?
sing the whole thing.
No, thank you. That's all I know. It's Dean Martin. I love Dean Martin. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, point is he two-arm shove Wayne Ellington. Wayne Ellington's on the ground. And that's the end of the story, Bryant. He's on the ground, and people think it's a dirty play, and they're talking about it on Twitter. Seems like you're reacting to this to total confusion.
I didn't see it.
So is it a dirty play or not? Give me your initial reaction.
yeah,
Based
I mean,
on
if you came in two-hand shove, that's a dirty play.
suspension?
Yeah.
Should he ever play again?
Yeah.
So somewhere in the middle of 1 game suspension and lifetime suspension.
Yeah. I think like a 1 or 2 game suspension. Maybe just 1. I mean, I didn't see it, but it doesn't sound like super dirty.
So 1 game suspension?
Yeah.
Or 2?
1.
1?
1.
Okay, Brian Diggis gives Campazzo a 1 game suspension. Excellent. Good story. One more thing, Brian, before we get to the main story here. We have to talk about the Masters.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned the Masters yet.
No, we have
Scotty
not.
Scheffler won the Masters yesterday in dominating fashion, although, make your putts on 18.
Ooh, that was rough to watch.
Kind of a bum. Was it rough to watch? I don't agree.
That was kind of funny, but
Hilarious. I mean,
He's
love
nervous.
knee knockers. But he won the Masters yesterday. Cam Smith right behind him with Rory and
see Rory's
and Shane
little
Lowry.
eagle on, was that 18? That he eagled?
It was 18.
Yeah.
Him and
Who was with him? I don't remember. Tell me.
it was Colin Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa, yep.
That's
They
right.
both eagled, and they were both super excited for each other. Out of the same bunker. Yeah. I watched it. I just
You
couldn't
know,
remember
Brian,
who it
you
was.
had a lot of story. I'm just marveling in the fact that you named off like 8 master stories, none of which I gave a rat's bleep about. But then I ask you, who made a bunker shot at 18, and you
I
struggled
forgot.
So give me one of the stories you wanted to talk about here.
So Tyrell Hatton, as you know, was not happy at the Masters. He was a little frustrated, slammed his driver at one of the holes.
Bush League.
Another one, he hit a shot and then started, it looked like he was using his iron as a gun
Insensitive.
and shooting patrons.
Insensitive.
So this was after yesterday. He was asked, the last round last year was 68, and you signed off okay this year. You seem to be making progress. And this was his response. Yeah, but you can hit good shots here and not get any reward for it. It's unfair at times. I don't agree with that. If you hit a good shot, you should end up near the hole, not then short-sided into a bunker because of the slopes that they've created and stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's a fair test at times, and when you hit good shots and you're not rewarded for it, it shows. Then the follow-up question was, does it increase the frustration level more than any, or is it because it is also a major? And he responded, I think it's how the course is set up in general. You don't really have to miss a shot, and your next one you're really going to struggle to make par. So he doesn't like how Augusta National is set up at all. What do you think about that?
I don't really have any thoughts about that, Bryant. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think it's a major. He should just hit better shots.
Yeah! Suck it up. Hit
Exactly.
better shots.
Exactly.
I mean, if
He's
you
a professional golfer.
That's exactly right, Brian. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop
look.
complaining.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can go complain when you break the course record.
Exactly.
But if you don't make the course record, if you shoot over par, I don't want to hear any B word
Exactly.
complaining, for a better term. I think you hit the nail on the head,
Thank
Brian.
you.
I mean, it's a great point, great topic. What's another Masters topic you had?
Well, I had that Gary Player, I don't know if you saw this, won the Saudi League logo when he was hitting the ceremonial first shot on Thursday. So that's obviously big news because, of course, we know Phil Mickelson was in some pretty hot water after some comments he made about the Saudi League. A lot of people kind of distanced themselves from the Saudi league.
He had to go to
after that happened.
He had to go to the court of public opinion, and I believe he was found guilty
He's
in the court of public
he's
opinion.
gone black since then.
So he was found guilty in the court of public opinion.
I guess so, because nobody's heard from him.
I need a record of that.
Nobody's heard from them since.
Of the court
because
of
I
public
think him and Bryson DeChambeau are really close. And they asked DeChambeau about it, and he said that he's tried to reach out to him. He's tried to text him, call him. He hasn't heard anything from him. So nobody really knows where Phil Mickelson is or what Phil Mickelson is doing. But Gary Player did wear the Saudi logo on his neck. So, I don't know. That's interesting. At the biggest stage, the Masters, to be wearing the Saudi logo, that's just a little interesting.
Very.
And then Jason Kokrak, who was named the ambassador for the Saudi League back, I think, last year, his bag this weekend was the first time didn't have the Saudi logo on his bag. So
wow,
it's interesting.
Any political comments to go along with
no,
that?
I'm just
you're just marveling at that stuff happening.
I'm just fascinated by the Saudi League and the PGA and just the whole thing in general. It's fascinating.
Fascinating.
I agree. That's it on that.
Oh, okay, so no additional comments.
No, I was just pointing out things I noticed.
Who were the two guys that made that out of the bunker in 18?
It was Rory and Colin Morikawa.
There you go. Okay, good.
And they were both super excited.
I just wanted to make sure you didn't just turn off the camera or turn off your TV after you saw the thing on the turtleneck.
No. I actually saw the thing on the turtleneck on Twitter. I didn't see it. Because I think it happened early Thursday morning. I think I was probably asleep.
That's right, because you stay up till 3 in the morning.
I don't stay up till 3. That was like months ago.
Question from Carlos Yates. We really appreciate Carlos jumping in here. Any comments on the Adam Schefter tribute, Bryant?
Ooh.
You seem to have some political opinions today, so I just wanted to know if you.
I don't think I made a single political.
If you wanted to try
opinion.
Shefty on the in the court of public opinion today.
So, for those who don't know,
are you the prosecutor or defender?
I don't know yet.
Okay, we'll decide as it goes. Okay.
So on what was it? Saturday morning.
Okay.
We got the tweet that, unfortunately, I'm having a name blank now.
Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins passed away. He was jogging down a highway, I believe, and got hit by a car. That's what was reported, at least.
The report, what I saw this morning, maybe this was just reported today, but what I saw today is he was driving a rental car, ran out of gas, and was trying to cross the street.
Okay, that makes more sense. The initial reports was that he was supposedly like jogging or something down the highway.
Your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, continue.
But Shefty tweeted out and said, after being a standout, I'm paraphrasing, of course, because he deleted it. After being a standout at Ohio State, Haskins struggled in the NFL, hopping from a couple teams. He was with Pittsburgh, and he died, basically. That's basically what happened. Everyone was hating because they were
the topics.
You didn't have to say that he struggled. You could have just said
he died.
He was in the NFL. He was with Pittsburgh. He played for this team, and this team.
Give context.
And that was it. But Shefty wanted to dig a little deeper, say that he did struggle a little bit in the NFL. People thought that was a little insensitive.
Call him out for being a bum.
Called him out for being a bum. And some people thought that was a little insensitive. Maybe a little.
Maybe a little bit.
I don't know.
R.I.P. though.
So I think maybe it was a little too soon to call him out. But you got a point. He is just pointing out the facts.
Yeah, but again, you could also admit those facts when a gentleman has passed away.
That's true.
So what's your comment on it? Carlos Yates asked for comments on it.
I think it was a little too soon.
Too soon.
I think it was a little too soon.
How much time should he have waited?
Well, no, I think he changed the tweet, and it was a little. I mean, it was just he basically said exactly what he said, just took out
the context.
that he struggled.
Just said who he played for, gave the facts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to see if I can find. This was what he changed it to.
Okay.
Dwayne Haskins, a standout at Ohio State before becoming Washington's first-round pick and playing in Pittsburgh, died this morning when he got hit by a car in South Florida, per his agent Cedric Saunders. Haskins would have turned 25 on May 3rd. So he changed it and just said he was a standout at Ohio State, was Washington's first-round pick, and was playing in Pittsburgh. I think that's better because, I mean, most NFL fans know he didn't have the greatest career in Washington and is now with Pittsburgh battling for a spot. So I think you can kind of infer by saying he became Washington's first-round pick and is playing in Pittsburgh I think you can infer what you need to know there.
Reporting is not about inferring, Bryant.
That's true.
Got to give all the information necessary.
So you think...
I would have liked to have seen, you know how Shefty and Rappaport does this too? They want to be the first one to get information out, so they tweet the bare bones.
Right.
And then they reply to their tweet with all of the details.
details.
And then they reply to the reply later when they have the full story written on either NFL.com or ESPN.com.
Right.
So I think you wait till maybe tweet 2 or 3 to say he was an absolute bum.
Right.
I'm
looking at
maybe
a story.
not in the initial tweet do you say he's a bum, but you wait a tweet or two.
I'm skimming his story that he put on ESPN to see.
Does he say he's a bum in there?
If it says after a standout
Struggled. Excuse me.
Yeah, don't
Not
say
a bum.
Don't call him a bum. After a standout 2018 season at Ohio State, Haskins was selected 15th overall by the Washington Commanders in the 2019 draft. Were they the Commanders in 2019? I don't think so. Haskins spent 2 turbulent seasons with Washington before signing in Pittsburgh before last season. So he called it turbulent.
Like what you do in an airplane.
It's a little bumpy.
It's turbulent.
Exactly.
Speaking of bumpy, is that all we have on this?
I guess so.
Okay. Speaking of bumpy.
What were your thoughts? You never gave your thoughts. Carlos asked for both of our thoughts.
No, he didn't. Specifically, he just said any comments.
Okay.
I have none. You had some.
Gotcha.
End of story.
Gotcha.
In addition to that, you're not John again. You're Bryant. But in addition to bumpiness, speaking of bumpy, do you know what porpoising is, Bryant?
I do not.
Porpoising is something that's happening in Formula One where the cars are a little bouncy because there's suction that grips the car and pushes it down to the ground. Well,
I thought it was something completely different. Go ahead.
Well, they got new cars this year, and they're on new tracks that are revamped. And the car, specifically Mercedes, is having some trouble getting the car where it won't bounce up and down on straights or coming out of turns and stuff, or when you brake or accelerate. And no car has seemed to figure out porpoising yet. So speaking of bouncing, Bryant, porpoising, bouncing on the Formula One circuit, huge to the team that's going to win that, whatever it's called, whatever cup. Contenders Cup. That's not right either.
Okay.
Some kind of cup.
I don't know.
Thoughts?
I just got an F1. Nah, I don't know. That's too bad. Hamilton's been fantastic.
I was really going to tease that. Not this year. Not this year. This is the first race they've been in the top 5. Both Mercedes have.
Really?
And he finished behind other dude, and he was mad about it during the race. He goes, "You guys are putting me in a very difficult position."
Who said that?
Lewis Hamilton. I don't
That's
know
not
if
how Lewis Hamilton sounds. He's British.
That is when you hear him on the microphone.
No,
He sounds
he's
like,
British.
"You're putting me in a very difficult position." Sounds German.
He's British.
He sounds German, though.
But he's British.
You don't watch Formula One. How do you know what he sounds like? Oh, because nobody born in America has accents from other countries. Give me a break. You sound ridiculous. We're going to let Bryant sit on his ridiculous comments as we go to break here.
I've heard him talk.
When we come back, it'll be something else, something totally different than this on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Memphis is synonymous with barbecue, and there's a place on Fox Plaza Drive that's been doing barbecue since 1922. Leonard's Pit Barbecue. Now, the place itself has undergone numerous changes since then, but the food has always remained the same. If you ate at Leonard's back in the day, you'll be glad to know it still tastes the same. Lunch every day of the week, catering for events. If you need barbecue, call the place that was first in Memphis. Leonard's Barbecue on Fox Plaza Drive between Mount Moriah and South Mendenhall. Call 901-360-1963.
Welcome to Allstate, where saving on your auto insurance is kind of like a joyride. You, your car, and an open road. Maybe your best friend, too. The music is chill, and so is the traffic. You and your friend both look over at each other, and then he puts his head back out the window. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Tired of waiting on your sportsbook? Waiting for deposits and withdrawals? No more waiting with Action 24/7. We're cutting out the middleman. Deposit or withdrawal in cash. Action 24/7 has more than 100 partners in Tennessee for cash deposits and withdrawals. Visit action247.com for a location. Cash deposits and withdrawals from your Tennessee sportsbook. Action247.com. You got action.
Must be 21 or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call 800-889-9789.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Memphis' only Top Golf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Out on the road for the first time. Virgin running to the sun.
I don't know this one either.
I don't either.
Do you have your Shazam ready?
Hold up.
Worrying about their other son.
Brian is currently holding the... I can't talk while he does it.
How will you survive, boy? And I say,
But someone should say what you're doing is holding the phone up to your ear so your phone, Shazam, can hear the music.
It's Loner by Acoustic Hookah.
Akuka.
Huh?
Acoustic Hookah.
Yeah.
Akuka.
Akuka. Loner is the name of the song.
Bryant.
Jay?
This weekend, you don't have to respond that way.
Oh, okay.
This weekend was the opening of Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm. We've already mentioned
We
that.
talked a little bit about it.
The Cardinals game was postponed today.
Oh, the Cardinals game was just postponed.
So
Breaking news.
It's going to be made up in June, I believe.
Not that you care. You're a Rangers fan.
I'm not a Rangers fan.
So that, and today's the last day with the Pirates. Oh, yeah, we mentioned Zach Thompson was supposed to be on the bump today. So we had to wait for the return of Dak.
And Dak, yeah.
The Dak wagon. I mean, let me tell you something. A recipe for success in sports. Yeah, please go ahead.
Does this mean Dak will start tomorrow?
I don't know, Brian.
And then we'll have to wait one more day for. You didn't like that I cut you off. We'll have to wait one more day for my guy.
Well, it's a good thing you interrupted me to talk about your guy.
Who am I talking about?
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But what I was going to say, Brian, is a recipe for success in athletics is to be named Dak and to go to Mississippi State University. That combo produces, more pro athletes named Dak come out of Starkville, Mississippi than any school in the nation. Thoughts?
I don't know of any other Dak that's come from another college.
That's exactly right, Brian. Exactly. You nailed the point home for me. Today, Brian, is the reason
Jordan Hicks.
Oh,
he's the fifth starter now.
For now.
For now.
Honestly,
so
I think
he was supposed to pitch tomorrow if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But will this mean Dak will throw tomorrow and then Hicks will throw on Wednesday?
I want you to make a guess now. If you're wrong, we'll make fun of you tomorrow.
I think Dakota will pitch tomorrow.
Dak
will pitch tomorrow.
Thank you.
And then
Dakota.
Jordan Hicks will throw.
I mean, Dak infinitely cooler than Dakota. True or false?
True. There's nothing in either of the Dakotas.
And you're a Cowboys fan, too, so you love Dak.
I don't really like
There's
Dak.
nothing in either Dakota. Mount Rushmore.
That's true. I've never been to Mount Rushmore. Have you ever been
You've
to
never
Mount Rushmore?
been west of Texas.
Never been west of Texas.
What's the furthest
is
west?
Tulsa, Oklahoma more west than Dallas? Because if it is, then I've been to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay. Well, we'll check on that and we'll find out
Yeah.
later. What I wanted to talk about this segment, Bryant, is umpires.
Okay.
And umpiring in Major League Baseball is under some criticism.
Have you ever umpired before?
What setting are we talking about?
So I was hired to umpire.
Didn't know.
Rec games in Germantown.
GYAA.
Well, it's not GYAA anymore. It's GBL.
Why is it not GYAA? Wait, breaking news. It's not GYAA.
Or it's GBL, yeah,
Why is
Germantown
it
Baseball
not
League.
GYA,
I don't
Germantown
know.
Youth Athletic Association?
I don't know. They changed that a while ago. But I was hired. I went to the meeting about it.
Good meeting?
It was an all right meeting. Never got a call or email after that. So
you've never umpired?
But
you were hired.
I umpired a AAA
Did a little
baseball
practice.
scrimmage. Not AAA as in Major League, like Little League AAA, competitive baseball.
You should have prefaced it with that.
I should have.
AAA
And I got
baseball.
yelled at by parents because I guess wasn't doing a good enough job.
Seems to come with the territory. I believe it.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked Brian is because, umpires are under some scrutiny as of late. There's Twitter pages dedicated to criticizing umpires. But one aspect of the umpiring that I don't see criticized
They
enough.
got Julio Rodriguez bad on Saturday.
Excellent contribution. Well, the point I'm making here, Brian, is that I don't think umpires get criticized enough for being good or bad at calling strikes 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So I have my idea of the way I would do it. I hear you have the idea of the way you would do it. So I want to obviously strikes 1 and 2 are different than strike 3. So
Right.
give me your call for strikes 1 and 2.
For strikes 1 and 2.
And we also have a visual element, so I want to see, and you also have to describe what you're doing, because this is radio, Brian. I don't know if you know this, theater of the mind,
theater of the mind.
So people are deciding what you're seeing in their head.
I mean,
so
you got
describe
to
it.
have a nice firm base, right? Leg,
Okay,
shoulder,
so
with
wide
the pot.
stance.
Yeah, wide stance. So the first
Hands
two,
on your knees when the pitch is coming in.
So the first two are just an easy ha, a little
Point to
strike.
the side.
Yep.
You
Ha.
point left hand,
Ha.
left side,
Well, I'm
obviously.
lefty, so I-
Well, I think everybody does left.
So
no,
the-
you do right hand, right?
Yeah,
I would
do
do
left
right hand.
I
I
do
think.
right.
Okay.
Or I do left hand.
You do left
so
hand.
then the third one.
Ha! That's strikes 1 and 2.
Step to the left, or no, left foot, step to the right, punch. So,
So left hand first.
Yeah, and then
pull the
back.
trigger.
Yep.
Right hand goes through.
Bingo.
So let me get all in context here.
So like this strike 3.
I wanna hear it, yeah.
So, we'll step up.
Is that it?
That's strike 3. Sit down.
I got a little bit different.
You give them a little
variation.
sit down when they get
You
back.
can't say sit down to a kid. I mean, or a professional for that matter. You can't say go sit down. I mean, that's just disrespectful. You can't do that. So already off to a terrible start. The way I would do it, Bryant, a little bit different. I would give first just a little point to the left, right there.
No sound?
I would be point to the right. Ha! That's
Okay. Oh,
right.
nice.
That's the point to the right.
Right.
That's strikes 1 and 2.
Okay.
Strikes 3 is a little different.
Okay.
Okay. Strike 3 is a little different. So make sure everybody knows it was a strike while I wind up and do my punch out. I'm going to throw my hand vertically straight up into the air, go, ha! And then turn and punch. So
Okay.
it's a, ha! Ha! And then you
so
punch them out that way.
Gotcha.
You get 2 of them. Hey! Hey!
Okay,
That's how you punch them
gotcha.
out right there. So that's
Gotcha.
my strikes 1 and 2 is the, huh!
So it's
And the
very
strikes 2 are the,
calm.
huh! Huh!
So it's a very calm 1, 2, and then the third one,
Yo,
you
you
just
gotta
let it go.
throw your hand up. That way, everybody
Everyone
there's no
knows. There's no confusion.
Sometimes you got umpires that just stand there and go huh before they punch out. But I want to show you with my other
Well, and then
hand.
you've got
just,
some.
huh, huh,
You got
know?
some who do it very subtly, and so you don't know.
That's what I just
was that a
said.
strike 3? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
So you would do it a little differently than I would.
Just a little differently.
Yeah, but I have some big criticism of Major League umpires. I want to see more showmanship. You know,
It's your job. You're getting paid to do this.
In the NBA, we know all these officials. We know all the ones. I really just know Cowboy Joe West,
Yeah,
and then
and he retired.
And then it kind of falls off.
Yeah.
Exactly, great singer though. You ever heard
Oh,
one
I
of
saw
Cowboy?
that. Yeah, he did karaoke.
No, he has albums.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I just saw him
albums.
doing karaoke like the day after he retired.
Well, maybe he was singing one of his songs. But
Maybe,
he has
I don't know.
He has full albums out of great music he's done.
I'll have to listen to it. I haven't checked it out.
Do that at the break.
I will. I'll Shazam it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to do that if you know what you're looking up.
That's true. I'll Apple Music it.
You know what song this is?
No, I don't.
It's Pink.
Pink.
Floyd.
Oh, Pink Floyd. I've never really got into Pink Floyd.
Pink though has the exclamation point on it.
Yeah, that's
instead of the I. She's a pop singer.
She's a pop singer.
Very good one as well.
I've never really gotten into her either.
You like Lady Gaga?
Oh, Lady Gaga's okay. Not really.
Well, you know Lady Gaga, someone murdered her dog walker.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that
Trying to
during
get the
Hardenwood.
dogs.
Is that what they were doing?
Yeah.
Holding the dogs ransom?
Well, they were trying to steal the dogs, and the dog walker, being the great dog walker that
Protected the dogs.
he or she was, started trying to fight back.
Worth dying for?
And, I mean, if it's Lady Gaga's dogs, depending on how much you're getting paid for them. And so they tried to retaliate, and they got killed while doing it.
Well, the murderer was mistakenly released from jail this weekend.
What?
Uh-huh. We can talk about that during Hardenwood. That'll be at the bottom of the next hour. But coming up next, after the break, Bryant read a book and wants to talk all about it. That's the tease. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Starts playing different tunes. see you on the dark side of the moon.
You don't have to visit the coast for fresh seafood. Catch the coast in Memphis at the Great Hunter Crab, 8325 Highway 64 next to the Wolf Chase Mall. Great Hunter Crab is a Cajun seafood restaurant specializing in the freshest seafood. Their unique blend of spices and sauces pairs perfectly with fish, shrimp, lobster, scallops, and crabs. Not a seafood lover? Try the soup, salads, catfish, and chicken. Great Hunter Crab open Monday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and even catering. Try the signature drinks like the Lost at Sea or the Shipwreck. Visit the coast today. Great Hunter Crab, 8325 Highway 64 next to the Wolf Chase Mall.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code BIGHEAD so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code BIGHEAD. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline. 1-800-889-9789.
Meet Bob Minetti. In 2016, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Bob participated in a clinical trial that included cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion. I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been working to share the kind of state-of-the-art work being done by Stand Up to Cancer and Lustgarten Foundation. To learn more about the latest research, including clinical trials, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system cleaned? How about a safety inspection? Right now, Conway Service is offering our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system for only $69. That's right, for only $69, we'll come out and perform our 16-point Energy Saving Super Tune-Up on your heating system. We'll also include a complete safety inspection using our state-of-the-art camera system, making sure your heating system is safe to operate this winter. Plus, we'll run a carbon monoxide test on your heating system, all for only $69. You can have the peace of mind knowing your heating system is safe and ready for those cold winter nights. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. Call this week and we'll perform your heating system tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
I just one of those things, when things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
John's not here, though. He's on vacation. New big voice, Bryant.
Sounds good.
It does sound good. Sounds different, though.
Does sound different.
I thought I used to do a very good big voice impression. I don't think I can do an impression of this big voice. Not as big of a voice.
Do your big voice impression.
No. Back to so you gotta give me a minute. Because sometimes it's hard to hit that low register. You gotta. Now, back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. I like the Westwood One big voice a little better than our old big boys. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56. That's the Westwood One.
His is kind of slow.
It's much slower. He's a little older of a man,
slower.
I bet. Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, it's slow.
You ever think about that?
Takes its time.
Interesting. John, you're not John.
I'm not John.
Why do I keep doing that, man? Genuinely, that upsets me. Regardless, Bryant, this is a big week. You know, last week was the city of Los Angeles' birthday. I talked a little bit about it with John, but I didn't get to talk about it much. City of Los Angeles' birthday, I believe it was the 11th. No, today's the 11th. So it was April 5th. So last week, April 5th, in 1850, the city of Los Angeles was founded. Of course, everything was much different back then. Instead of plastic, everyone's fake boobs were made out of hay. Not really. They weren't made out of hay.
Okay, thanks.
Silicone, I believe, is what they did.
You told me that joke last week, and I visualized.
Hay and boobs.
Yes.
It'd be a funny look. There'd be things poking out, though, I would think, I mean, that's how old time it used to be. Honestly, though, 172 years old, though, Brian. That's 172 years old, although you can't tell because of the Botox, Which you actually just told me that Simon Cowell is swearing off Botox.
That's what he said.
Well, he looks terrible, so it makes sense that he would do that.
He said he looked like a horror film.
He does. I mean, honestly, he should have picked up on that before how long he's been doing Botox. Honestly, he's been doing Botox since I've ever seen it. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. No, but yeah, so he can't tell 172 years.
Memphis was founded in May 22nd.
How about that? So it's coming up here. Memphis in May.
That's why they do Memphis in May.
172 years, though, Brian. That's how old Los Angeles is. That's the combined age of Rick Pitino and a baby. So, congratulations to Los Angeles.
Congrats, Los Angeles.
Isn't that huge? Well, Brian, I teased this, and I really can't wait to get to it here. I got some music to accompany you here.
Geez.
You read a book. Well, I'll just give you the music. Let's do Brian's book report. This is your book report music.
So is that my cue to start?
Yeah,
gotcha. So I picked up this book by Robert B. Parker called Double Play.
Double Play.
I bought it for $3 at the bookstore connected to the Germantown Library. So I felt like I had to read it. So the main character of this book, Joseph Burke, he's the main character. He was in the war. He got some injuries along the way in the war, had to go home, okay? He's back home now. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have anything to do. So he starts boxing a little bit, doing some other jobs. Finally, he's hired by a man in New York to be the bodyguard of his daughter, Lauren, okay? And so he's supposed to protect Lauren from her boyfriend, Lewis, which seems kind of odd, right? Why do you need to be protected from You're not going to participate in this?
I'm sorry, I thought you were doing a book report.
I am doing a book report. But I was asking a question. Why would you need to be protected by your boyfriend?
I don't know, Bryant.
Well, that's because his father's a mobster, and he's a wannabe mobster. Great. So they hit it off, him and Lauren, Burke and Lauren. They start kind of falling in love, right? But then he gets fired, okay? The job's done. He kills a couple guys along the way. Whatever. So now, Branch Rickey hires him to bodyguard who? Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson, I cast a couple roles in this book. Chadwick Boseman, who's the Black Panther, as you know, I have him playing Jackie Robinson. And then for Branch Rickey, I have Harrison Ford.
Wait a minute.
Playing Branch Rickey, who I've heard is in Star Wars.
Wait.
And you informed me was the original Indiana Jones.
Wait. This is a book.
This is a book.
No movie.
Not a movie.
You cast actors to read the voices of the roles in your head. What if there's a part that is more difficult to cast? You just find an actor?
Or I just make
Like, does Samuel L. Jackson ever play any roles in your books?
No, I haven't had Samuel L. Jackson. But I haven't seen many Samuel L. Jackson movies, so I'm not too familiar with his work.
With his acting work, yeah.
But I've seen, Black Panther. I've seen Draft Day.
Need Jonah Hill in a role. Kevin Costner you can put in a role then.
I love Kevin Costner's been in a couple of my books.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I interrupted. So, you have Branch Rickey played by
Harrison Ford,
and you have Chadwick Boseman playing Jackie Robinson.
The late great Jackie Robinson. So they have a run-in with a gang at a bar. That gang wants Jackie Robinson killed. Well, that's Burke's job is to protect Jackie Robinson. So he doesn't get killed by them, but then all of a sudden Lauren and Lewis show up again, okay? Remember, Lewis is the son of the mobster who's dating Lauren. Now they're engaged. So they're at a game. They make a big scene. Then Lauren calls another night and says, hey, Lewis is going to kill Jackie Robinson in the middle of the doubleheader on Sunday. So in a wild turn of events, Burke hires Cash, who's the hitman for this gang they ran into, to help him protect Jackie Robinson because his boss broke one of the mobster rules. Okay? So Cash and Burke set out to protect Jackie Robinson in this doubleheader. That's exactly what they do. So they save Jackie. Finally,
how do they save him?
They shoot the guy who's going to kill him.
Wow.
The guy stands up with his gun and is about to shoot Jackie Robinson, and they shoot him and kill him. And then they kill the shooter, save Robinson, and then Burke gets the girl. Him and Lauren get back together, and then they live happily ever after. So that's double play.
Do you have a rating for it? I mean, some kind of report.
I gave it 4 stars
out of how many?
Out of 5 on Goodreads.
Did you include any of this synopsis in your Goodreads review?
I should go back and maybe I could do an audio one. I could just take the audio from this.
Really, you would have thought that when I asked you to do a book report on this book and you said that you wrote a review of it, you would have pulled up the review to give us a little bit of the review.
Well, I didn't write a review.
Oh, you just rated it.
I just rated it.
I see.
I don't do reviews because I don't got time.
It takes too much time, right? Mm-hmm. It's much easier to just click
it's a good book.
Click a number of stars, right?
You know, a little baseball, a little action, a little.
And this is fiction,
stuff.
Correct? Fiction. It's a novel.
So it's a weird book. So here's what the opening page says, if I could read a little bit.
Fiction, nonfiction, fiction.
Yeah, so it says, this is a work of fiction about a real man. Most of what I've written I made up. I have, however, attempted to render Jackie Robinson accurately, as he was, or as I imagined him to be in 1947 when I was turning 15 and he was changing the world. The rest is altogether fiction. It may be more Burke's story than Jackie's, but without Jackie, Burke would have no story, and neither would I. Robert B. Parker, Cambridge, Massachusetts, June 2003. So throughout this book, he kind of like stops the book and puts in like his own commentary about Jackie Robinson and like seeing Jackie Robinson play. I skipped all that part, so I don't really know what his thoughts are about Jackie Robinson. But
why did you skip that?
Because it didn't really have anything to do with the book.
Just didn't interest you.
No, I mean, I was here for the book, not for his little synopsis about watching Jackie Robinson play in real life. So
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. I forgot why I only gave it 4 stars out of 5.
Well, you have the opportunity to redeem that if you want to. Do you want to give it a different rating?
No, I'm going to keep my 4.
So why are you giving it 4 stars this time instead of 5?
I still don't know. Maybe because I didn't like the part where he came in.
Because you skipped a whole section. Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it made the book way shorter than it actually was. A good book, though. You can pick it up for $3 like I did. So it's kind of an old guy. That's him on the back. That's Robert.
He was 15 in 1947.
Yeah. So, yep, that's my book report.
It's a good book report, Brian.
Thank
Excellent job. Thank you for all the effort you put into that.
Thank you.
How many hours? You probably spent hours last night writing that.
Hours. I was sick last night. I did this morning.
Oh, you did this morning. Jackie Robinson, your favorite athlete. How did Chadwick Boseman do?
Chadwick Boseman did fantastic.
Oscar award winning. I mean,
so.
Posthumously too.
Personally, I think if somebody was making a Jackie Robinson movie,
which they have,
I think Chadwick Boseman should play the role of Jackie Robinson
again after he's dead.
No, that's too bad. Only if there was one before he died, you know.
There was.
Oh, and who played Jackie Robinson?
I think he did.
And who played Branch Rickey?
Wow, how about that? He's at a library. It's free.
We'll try to pick up Double Play.
Double Play. Carlos is at a library. How convenient that we would talk about this book while he's at a library. You're going to have a book report tomorrow too, right, though, Bryant?
Maybe, if I finish my book.
Maybe.
I have about 150 pages left.
So it's continue. So you have no other books you've read that you could possibly. Because you always brag about being such a tremendous reader.
I never brag.
And love reading.
I never brag.
I feel like you do.
I don't.
I feel like you do. Let's agree to disagree.
Okay.
And I just feel like you need to share the books you read.
Isn't Jackie Robinson Day coming up?
Because sometimes, Bryant, I feel like it has to be coming up soon. It's always near the beginning of the year.
I just spelled Jackie Racky.
And that's when people wear 42s.
Uh-huh.
But, Brian, you always brag about all the books that you've bought.
I don't. April 15th.
And
so
read.
It's this week, so that makes sense that
so
we
it's
would,
in just a couple
we would
days.
do double play.
Should have waited for the 15th. Should have looked that up beforehand.
Too bad.
But you always brag about all the books that you. I went to Barnes & Noble every Sunday. I
That's
get this
not
book.
true. That's not true.
And I've always contended that there's absolutely no way Bryant reads all these books. I would imagine a lot of them just sit on the shelf and sit there and collect dust.
That is what most of them do.
Yeah, so I assumed as much. So this is kind of to motivate you to read the books.
Well, you know what,
and then talk about them on the radio.
You know what the motivation that I had was to start
baseball starting
reading
had
all
to
these
be.
books. No, actually, the third book of a series that I really enjoy. The third book releases on the 19th, which is I think Tuesday of next week.
Of this book you just read?
No. Another book that I've been reading. I read earlier this year. Both books, they're really good. A Gambling Man was the second one, by David Baldacci. So the third one's coming out on the 19th. So I was like, I need to get some of these books done before I can go and buy that one and read it.
No doubt. Well, I'm glad you did, Brian. I'm not a big book guy. I like movies.
But you bought a book.
Yeah, The Age of Cage.
Have you been reading it?
Oh, I love it. I'm trying to finish it before he goes on it. He's in an interview tomorrow, the author of that book that I'm listening to. He goes on with...
so you're going to try to finish it by tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to try to. But maybe not. At the very least, I'm going to finish it. It's not very long, but it's a pretty short book. At the very least, because it's about Nicolas Cage, I'm going to try and finish it before The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent comes out. You know what that is?
I saw a little clip.
It's the new Nicolas Cage. So it's a guy wrote a movie where Nicolas Cage is the star of the movie, playing Nicolas Cage. And though it's a whole, it's kind of spoofy. Because Nicolas Cage truly is an excellent actor.
Is it kind of like, what was that movie? Who's the famous actor that made that Uncut Gem? Is it kind of like Uncut Gem?
Adam Sandler did not play Adam Sandler in Uncut Gem.
But wasn't it kind of like a spoof? Like it was supposed to be like, it was supposed to like mock.
Being John Malkovich, maybe, is what you're thinking of? Because John Malkovich is in Being John Malkovich.
But there was a movie that somebody made as sort of like a, to kind of like mock movies or something like that. I think it was Uncut Gems.
There's been a lot of those. You know, the Wayans brothers, scary movies, those movies, mock movies.
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of movies.
So you don't know actors.
I don't know
Until you do know an actor, and I'm like, I thought you didn't know actors. And you go, I know all about these actors. I know so many actors. Why would you say I don't know actors? That's kind of how you sound when I hear you talk.
I love Kevin Costner. That's my favorite actor.
Do you? How can you have a favorite actor? You don't know any of them. Now, what did you say you hated last week? What was it you said you hated? God, I wish I could remember this. Last week you had something.
The metric system?
No, we need to talk about that in a second. That's in my notes here today, is you making fun of the metric system. After famously thinking that centimeters was not part of the metric system, even though it has meters in the name. I digress. No, there was something that you said you hated. And then I asked you, well, how much do you know about it? You go, I don't know anything about it. I've never seen any of it, but I hate it. Can't remember what it was. You do that all the time, though.
I do it a lot.
I'm sure it'll happen at some point this week, and I can make fun of you when it happens. But let's get to the metric system.
Okay.
I'm really glad you brought this up, Bryant. You sent me. I asked you to bring notes and thoughts and topics in.
I had a lot.
And I ask you to do that every time. Honestly, this is the third or fourth time we've done this
and this
together.
is the first time that I actually brought topics in.
This is the third or fourth time we've done this together. Usually we do Wolo and Friends together, and that's only an hour long.
Right.
And I say, do you have any topics? And you go, no, I don't have any topics. And it's only an hour show. It's like literally the least amount of work you could possibly do coming in here is thinking of one topic, and you always like, no, I don't have any. Well, today you surprised me with a topic. You kind of sent them to me like an hour before we went on, but that's all right. But when I got, I was really, I was very shocked and very interested in this one. It just had 4 words, the topic that you gave me. It says, this is 5 words actually. The metric system is stupid.
Yep.
Go.
I just don't like it. I don't understand it. I think people say we need to go to the metric system, but I don't understand the metric system.
Who says
and
that,
I don't
Brian?
understand why people look at inches and centimeters together if they're not in the same system, you know?
Well, you know that like the ruler has inches on one side and centimeters on the other. You know, yardstick, meter stick, I believe, does the same thing.
No, was it you that had the argument about the yardstick?
They're the same length.
What?
It's like the same amount. A meter stick and a yardstick are the same. Yeah, exactly. 1 meter is 1.09 yards. It's the same length. So meter stick and
But I
yardstick.
thought a yardstick was
3 feet.
I was about to say that. Yep. Okay. I get it now.
And you think it's longer than a meter. because meters are on rulers, right? Isn't that what you said last time?
I didn't say that.
I feel like you did, because you and I had a pretty long argument about meter stick and yardstick, and you were convinced that a meter and a yard were not the same distance apart.
I was convinced about
because
that.
I look on a football field, this is the best one, is that the yards on a football field, this is a Bryant Dacus quote, he absolutely said it. If he says he didn't, he's lying. He said that the yards on a football field are not the same distance as the yard on a yardstick. Bryant, defend yourself.
No, I did say that.
Yeah, you did say that.
It's coming back now because I said you defended
it adamantly. I mean, you would not go quietly.
Because yardsticks are big. Teachers use those as like pointers.
That's right.
And so that is not. I've played football for years. That's not the same length as a foot.
And you know a yard. I mean, you played football for years. Well, it's not the same distance as a foot.
And that's what I meant. A yard. Excuse me.
So you played football for years. I mean, you know how far a yard is, and you know. I mean, you know that the yards on a football field are not the same. So which is longer? Yards on a football field are shorter than a yardstick. Is that what you're saying, or the other way around?
I think yards are like.
Well, a yard is a yard. So tell me what you think is longer.
Is yards part of the metric system?
No, a meter is part of the metric system.
So what's yards a part of?
The imperial system.
And that's what we're on.
That's what we're on, with inches and feet.
So a yard's different from a meter.
Literally, yes, but it's also about the same distance. Yes, 1 meter is 1.09 yards.
So when you look at a meter stick, is what you were calling the yardstick earlier.
No, it's the same stick.
You just said they were different. Gotcha.
You did not. They're the same stick. A meter stick and a yardstick is the same stick. I think in the same way that a ruler and it has centimeters and inches on it, and millimeters for that matter.
But you can't say a yard and a meter are different and then say they're the same.
No, but it's the same stick, man. So they put like 0.09 inches longer, or what? I guess it would be inches longer for the yardstick, or I don't know how long that would be. But point is they put a little bit longer for the yards, but the meter stick and the yardstick are roughly the same distance.
I'm gonna go today,
and it seems like you're dodging the topic of thinking that yards are different distances if they're on a football field or on a stick.
I'm gonna go buy a yardstick today, and then I'm gonna go to Houston High School. I'm gonna go to their football field. I'm going to lay the yardstick down, and I'm going to take a video.
This doesn't even touch upon the fact, and you're going to realize how stupid you sound, but this doesn't even touch upon the fact that this whole conversation started one day because Bryant said that millimeters and meters should not be compared to what we use, inches and centimeters.
I didn't say that.
I think you did. I feel like I got audio of it, and if you give me time at the break, I can pull it up, and we can play it on the radio.
I don't remember saying that.
You seem a bit frustrated with
me
calling you out about the yards and inches.
I think what I said was I don't want to use the metric system.
No, but you thought
I'm
centimeters.
I'm fine with using inches and centimeters.
That's right. You thought centimeters wasn't part of the metric system. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I also should correct myself. I said that Ferrari won every Formula One race they lost last week in Saudi Arabia.
You love you some Formula One.
It's great racing, man. Honestly, I'm a little bit upset with how many new Formula One fans there are, though. I don't care for the drive to survive.
You should go to Miami. They're coming to Miami in a couple weeks.
So they play a few road courses. They have Copa.
I don't know what Copa is.
Circuit of the Americas.
Okay.
Oh, COTA. I'm sorry. Copa. Circuit of the Americas.
Copa is soccer.
Yeah, that's right. Circuit of the Americas is in Austin. NASCAR just had a race there. I believe there's another road circuit out west somewhere, maybe Vegas.
That's coming in 2023.
Okay, and then
Vegas.
they have
it's gonna be on the Strip.
This is the first year they've done Miami as a circuit, so it'll be a good race. I'm excited for them to come to America. I also like when NASCAR races on the road.
I've never seen a NASCAR road race.
Just a couple weeks ago, Circuit of the Americas, they were there. Watkins Glen is the classic one, classic road course.
Okay, so true story.
This week they're in Bristol on the dirt.
Since we're talking about NASCAR.
You know, the dirt in Bristol.
So yesterday, like I said, I was a little under the weather.
Bristol dirt.
So I was laying in bed, and I spent probably 45 minutes.
That's a good segment.
Searching the internet for trying to figure out what I was going to bet in the NASCAR race last night.
Yeah. Well, no. And Brian's really good at finding things on the internet to search for. He famously made his Masters bets based on 2 clickbait stories he saw that tell you where to watch it and what to bet on. The same stupid stories that he writes for 247 Sports every week, he used those to make his bets.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Continue. I'm sorry.
So yesterday, I'm searching the web, figuring out what I'm going to buy. Then I go into my sports books that I use. I use 2, and there's no bets up.
You want to give them free pub? Maybe shouldn't do that. Never mind.
Neither of them are
sponsored.
Have have bets that have available NASCAR bets.
Like
it's all
matchups?
futures. No. Anything for the race.
Had the
last
race
night.
start? No, the NASCAR race was Saturday, dude.
Exactly. I spent 45 minutes yesterday searching for a race that had already finished.
Well, it's good that you were deciding to bet on it, though.
I'm going to blame my sickness.
Which is
from
it's honestly a great story you just told, that I was looking for this sport to gamble on that I don't know anything about, so much so little do I know about the sport, I don't even know the race day that they were scheduled for. Well, on that note, Brian, I think you took us very nicely into a break. When we come back, your guess is as good as mine for what we're going to do on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It takes guts to open a barbecue place in Memphis, and 20 years ago this month, Craig Blondus did just that when he opened the First Central Barbecue. It's a tribute to the commitment to make barbecue the right way, slow smoked until it's perfectly tender and delicious, that Central Barbecue hasn't just survived for 20 years, but flourished and grown with 4 Memphis locations and one of the busiest catering operations in the city. Every week this month, each Central Barbecue location will be featuring food specials and Memphis-made drink specials as a way of saying thank you, Memphis. Now come get some ribs.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
DQ presents. Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? That's 5 taste bud tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger with 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
You know this song?
Yeah, I do actually.
You ready?
It's a heartbreaker. I Shazammed it. Is this a new?
That's a new song
That's a
for
new
Johnny
one.
Radio's Happy
Love
Hour.
me some heartbreaker. Pat.
Benatar.
Huh? Oh yeah, that's what I was saying.
There, see, Carlos knew it.
Man, great song.
This is a good song. Carlos sometimes gives us songs to play, but today we have so many new ones that we had to look through all the incredible
I like the new songs.
No, that was good stuff today. I think Mornings had some new songs too. New Big Voice as well. New Big Voice
Wonder
Day.
Sports Time's gonna have some new songs.
You know what?
We'll find out.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We're not going to do Hardwood because Brian, as I mentioned earlier in the show, is famously very unprepared when he
That's
comes
not
on the radio.
true.
Wants to put all of the work and thought of coming up with topics and things to say into microphones on me.
Okay,
And so Brian
okay.
didn't come
No,
with
no,
any
no,
Hardwood
no, no,
stories.
no, no,
So I'm just
no,
going to
no,
go
no.
through the topics
No,
that I
no,
had
no.
for Hardwood,
No.
and you tell me what strikes you as interesting.
Listen.
Otherwise, we'll just move on.
Listen, I want to just make this clear.
This whole thing is listening,
The
Brian.
first time that we did a show together, I came in with like 6 topics.
Oh,
really ready to go. Really ready to go.
Okay.
I read them
Yeah.
off to you, and you said all of your topics are terrible.
Well, they were. I mean, it was like, here's what Brian's topics were like. Let's say, let's just say something happened yesterday in sports. Albert Pujols hits his 500th home run.
Okay, that didn't happen.
The first topic you would have come in with is
Albert
Albert
Pujols
hit his
hit
500th
his
home
500th
run.
home
As
run.
though I'm too stupid when I'm thinking of topics that both of us can come up with to say, like, the biggest topic in sports. So, like, you came with, like, 3 topics. They were, like, block A, B, and C of SportsCenter that morning. Of course I thought of those topics.
Well,
They
I mean,
led SportsCenter.
I'm sorry, you didn't give me the criteria for your topics.
Oh, right.
But now I know the criteria for your topics.
Is think of something that's interesting to talk about.
Like NFTs.
Yeah,
But you don't like NFTs.
which is crazy that I would require of you to
Mhm.
think of interesting topics.
Okay,
to
back
talk
to your
about
back
on
to
the
your
radio.
topics.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Should I play the Hardwood song while we do it?
Sure.
All right, let me pull it up. We have other things to do this segment too. I really just
is Access Hardwood.
that's really that's pretty good, honestly.
Thank you.
That's really all.
That's
but
my big boy.
I wasn't gonna play the music, but now that we've talked about it and previewed Hardwood and talked
Uh-huh.
about Hardwood for so long, I feel like we should play it. So what is how does John lead into Hardwood? Let's go to Hardwood.
Let's go to Hardwood.
Okay, wait, let's start again. Let's take a ball. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
I'm going to throw it to you, and
All
then
right.
I want you to be John, okay? Here we go. 3.
Jay, let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Wow, it's like John's here.
That's me.
Okay, here's the topics. I don't have. Usually, John, not to peel behind the curtain too much. Usually, John has his phone out with
Uh-huh.
these topics. He's
Right.
reading stories for the
Uh-huh.
first time as we do it. Today, I didn't even go that far. I just have the headlines. I wrote down like 5 headlines. Okay,
Yeah.
you ready?
Okay.
Traveler flying by airplane told a TSA member he had no idea a sword was, quote, inside his cane. So you see he's going through TSA and they pull off the bottom of his cane and there's a sword inside. He said, I didn't know that was there.
What's he gonna do with a sword?
Which I feel like is an excellent excuse.
I mean, how old was he?
I don't know.
But he was
I
old.
told you, I just wrote down the headline.
Oh my god.
But here's the interesting thing
But you
is...
said if I wanted to know more, to let you know, and you would give me more information.
Not what I said. I said if
Okay.
anything you find interesting, we could talk about
Okay.
it. But the thing to me I found interesting about this story is it's a great excuse. It's just I didn't know that was there. Which you use it for drugs, knives, guns, whatever you go through the TSA with, and they're like, "What is this?" Be like, "I didn't know that was there."
But that's not a great excuse.
Well, you got this guy off the hook.
Did it really?
Of course, man. I don't know if
Well,
he did or
maybe
not.
he bought the cane from like a pawn shop and just didn't know that it was like actually a sword. You know, that could be a, you know.
Next up, not John Bryant, Lady Gaga. You know Lady Gaga?
I do know
She's
Lady
a
Gaga.
singer. A man accused of shooting singer's dog walker, who
Okay.
survived, by the way. We got
Yeah.
a text from Carlos saying that the dog walker did survive. I thought dog walker died.
No, it survived.
He survived.
He survived.
I think. Lady Gaga, man accused of shooting singer's dog walker, released from jail by mistake over the weekend. I don't know how that happens by mistake. I've never heard of a situation where someone is released from jail by mistake, but it happened.
Interesting.
That's the whole story I have. More on this at 11. Next up, Bryant almost did it again. American Airlines. You know the airplane company, American Airlines.
Yeah.
They have
AA.
hubs in Dallas.
Yeah.
AA. I believe they have a hub in Miami too. The American Airlines Center in Miami and the one in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
How many times can you say yeah while I tell the story?
Yeah.
American Airlines, Bryant.
Yeah.
They restart Philadelphia regional routes.
Okay.
With landline buses. So American Airlines has some chartered buses. Is it?
American
it's an airline.
Landlines.
It's an airline company, Brian. I'm not sure they're supposed to be taking buses from place to place.
Well.
So you can see these are all setups for jokes that I didn't write. Next up, Brian, is a wind energy company has pleaded guilty. A wind energy company has pleaded guilty after killing at least 150 eagles. Because, the wind turbines are spinning
fly into 'em.
and birds fly into them. And you can kill a lot of birds, Brian.
I'm sure.
You can't kill eagles. It's the one
Yeah,
thing.
it's illegal.
It's a matter of public safety.
It's a federal crime.
You know why?
Because it's the bird of the country.
The bald eagle.
Bald
That's
eagle.
right.
No, I'm doing here.
You know what the bird of Tennessee is? Tennessee state bird?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
You want to take a guess?
A cardinal.
Wrong. Mockingbird.
Oh, okay.
Like To Kill a Mockingbird.
I love that book.
That's why I made the trick, because you kill eagles, kill mockingbirds.
Kill mockingbirds.
Last thing, Bryant, there's absolutely no chance you understand this reference.
Okay.
But hopefully a listener or two will, because
Uh-huh.
I think it's hilarious. Mark Zuckerberg says Meta employees, Meta's the name
I know.
of his larger company.
Right.
Now.
It's the virtual reality.
Meta is also now the parent company to
that's
Instagram
Facebook.
and Facebook.
Yeah.
Mark
Oh, wait,
Zuckerberg.
weren't they supposed to change Facebook to Meta? Like that was supposed to be the.
I believe it's just the parent company. It is a great
Interesting.
movie, Carlos, To Kill a Mockingbird. Excellent movie.
Good movie.
American classic. Mark Zuckerberg says, though, that Meta employees lovingly, quote, lovingly, refer to him as the Eye of Sauron. You know what that's a reference to? Of course not, because you don't know anything. The Lord of the Rings.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Or read it, for that matter.
And The Hobbit.
The Hobbit is the prequel.
Yeah.
You know who wrote Lord of the Rings?
No.
Wow.
J.R. Rowling.
No, J.K. Rowling wrote
J.K.
Harry
Rowling.
Potter. J.R.R.
Monroe.
Tolkien. Very
Tolkien.
close. Very close with
So
Monroe.
I have a Hardwood story for you.
No, you don't.
I
we
do.
literally just got done talking
I
about
do.
it. You said you didn't have one. I was about to turn the music down.
I remembered this one.
Okay, go ahead.
See what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo this weekend?
Yeah, tell the people about it. Well, first of all, I'm not good at giving context. Tell the people who Cristiano Ronaldo is.
So he's
for the folks at
a
home.
footballer.
Soccer player. From, where does he hail from?
I don't know.
Portugal.
Portugal.
Who does he play for?
Manchester United.
Okay.
He did play for PSG and now plays for Manchester United.
He also used to play for Manchester United. With?
Yeah.
Who was his striker mate?
I don't know.
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney. So this weekend they had a game. Manchester United was playing Everton in a squabble of the Premier League. And Cristiano Ronaldo was hobbling off the field.
Fixture.
And a young fan was videoing him, probably yelling something.
Walking
at
off
him.
the pitch.
Off the pitch. Videoing him, a young Everton fan, probably yelling something at him. Ronaldo comes over and just smacks the phone out of his hand, and now the child is saying that he doesn't know if he can ever go to a soccer game again, that it traumatized him that much, and that he has a bruise on his hand from where Ronaldo slapped the phone out of his hand. They might press charges.
Wow.
Fair or unfair? Because I've noticed that a lot lately. Is people are knocking phones out of people's hands or videoing them. I think it happened happened at an NBA game earlier this season. Was it the Joker that it happened to? I don't remember.
Knocking phones out of people's hands?
Yeah, it happened to somebody. They like went over and like grabbed the phone or something.
So what was your question? What was your
fair or unfair?
To touch people's phones?
Yeah.
I want to hear your answer first.
Unfair.
Why?
Not your phone. You don't pay that phone bill.
What about last year in the playoffs? You know who Brad Marchand is?
Yeah.
Who plays for?
I don't know.
The Boston Bruins.
The Bruins, right.
But you know who he is, though.
I knew the name. I knew he was an NHL
Well, Brad Marchand, point is last year in the Garden, the TD Garden,
right.
after one of their game against the Capitals, a fan had his phone hanging over the glass, and the Bruins won.
Oh, he took it, and he,
videoed
himself.
I don't know who this phone is, but it was a great one.
I thought that was this year. Was that last year?
I believe it was last year.
Okay.
Well, the point is, maybe it was earlier this year.
I think it was like opening day this year.
Maybe that's right. It was a long time ago. But the point is that happened, Bryant. So if you mean to tell me that it's unfair for players to hit phones out of disgust, that means they can't take them in victory.
That's true. That's
Are you okay with taking them in victory?
That's like the Juwan Howard argument. If you
shake hands in success, why can't you do it?
Require people to shake hands, not require. Right. You got a good point.
Thank you.
Rodney Hood was the one I was thinking. He swatted a fan's phone against the Wizards when he was ejected in a game earlier this year. That's who I was thinking about. Or no, that was back in 2018. So different case. But another case to add to my point.
NBA players swatting phones.
NBA players. Now, footballers swatting phones. I don't know. People just need to chill out. But I'm sure they were yelling something at them. I'm sure.
But you're allowed to do that as a fan, right?
Exactly.
So you're a fan. You pay the bills, right?
Exactly.
You work for me. That's what fans say, right?
That's a little harsh.
Is it?
Maybe.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way, though.
I don't know.
Is that I pay your salary. I've heard that one before.
I have heard that before.
Don't agree at all.
Oh, that was a big thing last year when the Mets were doing the thumbs down.
That's right.
At the fans. That was funny.
I agree. I think it should go both ways. I mean, look, I get the I pay your salary thing, I understand. But, look, if fans are arrogant enough to think that they're the ones that make all this happen, they are mistaken. Because I guarantee you if the players weren't there, you're just a bunch of idiots sitting in a stadium.
Right.
This is nothing without me. Oh, you mean the work they've done to play the sport at the highest level possible
is all because of you.
Not going to be appealing if I don't show up.
What's the movie they made about the Williams sisters' dad?
King Richard.
King Richard, the King fans.
King fans, that's right. Amy Schumer had a funny joke at the
the one
Oscars.
that they didn't let her air.
No, that one was funny, but I can't say that on the radio. If you want to look it up, look up Amy Schumer's censored joke. But the funny joke that she did tell.
Do you think Amy Schumer's funny?
Yeah, I mean, she got in trouble a little bit for stealing jokes, and that's made it tough for her.
Right.
I do think she has some funny jokes.
I've never really listened to her.
She's got some funny jokes. She's certainly got.
I only listened to a couple comics.
Well, the point is she had a joke during the
Comedians,
Oscars.
Comics.
Yeah, no, that's the same. They're interchangeable. Comics are like on stage as a stand-up comic, and comedians can be actors. So there are all sorts of things. Anybody that does funny things. That's the way I describe it, at least.
Gotcha.
But the point I was going to make was that during the Oscars, Amy Schumer had a funny joke about King Richard, saying, "It's so nice that on this, the culmination of movie night, we can all come together and celebrate two of the greatest female athletes ever. His father." Because the movie's all about the dad.
I get it.
I think I butchered the joke, but that was the nature of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, hardly. Let's hardwood. What were we going to talk about this segment?
We're going to talk about the melee at the Tigers game.
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
okay. So talk about give people some synopsis of the Tigers game. You're not going to do as well as Greg Gaston did on Sports.
Did he talk about it this morning?
Because he was commentating the game.
I wanted to come in and ask him about it.
So his explanation was excellent. He had a firsthand account of it.
I'm sure he did.
But let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear your jumbled version of what happened.
So from what I understand, Memphis was hosting UCF yesterday, and the third game was the rubber match of the 3-game series because Memphis beat UCF Friday night, then they lost. They got blown out Saturday.
Run ruled. I don't think you get run ruled in college
No, they
baseball.
do have a run rule in college baseball, but it's like iffy. I think it's by conference by conference. So Sunday they start the game. UCF is up 2-0 in the top of the first inning.
Wow.
Guy comes up, I forget his name, comes up and just hits a shot to left center.
Sundin.
Okay.
I don't know his first name.
He starts rounding the bases, and the umps start looking at the bat. And
they lay it down?
If you remember, we had this controversy last weekend or the weekend before when Tennessee was playing Vanderbilt.
No, but it was different.
I know, but that was with the sticker.
Right, because it has to be an approved
Exactly.
bat.
So I thought they were looking for a sticker initially, but they weren't. They were looking at pine tar because you can only have so much pine tar on a bat in certain spots.
18 inches.
Exactly. So they were trying to measure it in the batter's box.
Against the plate, which is also 18
exactly.
inches.
And so it ends up they say, hey, he's out. The home run does not count. And so their Love Letter, maybe the coach's name? I forget the coach's name. Love Lady.
Love Letter.
He comes out. He's heated. He's not happy with the call. So he's arguing with them. Then he
wasn't just mad. He was incensed.
Oh,
he lost his mind.
He was crazy.
If you watch the video, he loses his mind.
He starts going after the dugout.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly who he was going after.
No, that was the pitcher that was yelling back
at him.
No.
That was after. He first starts going at the dugout and starts yelling at the dugout.
Probably the
I don't
coach.
know. Probably to Schoenrock. And they kind of wrangle him, and he starts mouthing off to the ump again. They say, hey, you're gone. Okay?
Get out of
now
here.
He's gone. Another one. How would
tossed.
you throw somebody out? Would you just the quick, get out of here?
No, you gotta like, the full
you
throw.
get full
I don't know
throw.
how to describe that. You have to fully extend one arm while pulling your other arm back towards your chest.
So then he's
with a point.
He's
a point.
He's even more mad now that he's been thrown out.
Yeah.
So some of his assistants are coming and trying to like wrangle him back. Well, the third base coach, did you notice him? He's just standing there at third base, not doing anything. The ump starts pointing at him to, hey, come get your guy. And he's kind of like, what? So then the pitcher comes into the frame. Now he's mouthing off to Love Letter and Love Lady. And he gets tossed. Hey, you're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then after all of this show, they say, actually, the home run counts.
Well, they went back and reviewed it again, a lengthy review.
That's ridiculous.
Well, they went and measured, not a lengthy review, that's the wrong word. They went and measured the bat with an actual tape measure rather than just using it against the plate.
Yeah.
A more exact measurement of sorts.
And they said, actually, we were wrong. So, should they have undone the ejections?
No. And I'll tell you why. What's Memphis coach name? Rock?
Darren Schoenrock.
They call him Rock, though.
They call him the Rock,
They call him the Rock. So the Rock.
I don't know if it's the Rock, but they call him Rock.
They call him Rock. Okay.
Rock.
So his name is Rock. For our purposes, his name's going to be Rock. Rock didn't lose his mind when
That's
he reversed
true.
the call.
He was very calm.
Doesn't cost anything to keep a cool head, Bryant.
That's true.
You know? So if you want to lose your cool, if you want to yell and scream and curse out God and everybody, you're going to have to deal with the consequences regardless of what happens with the call.
They lost 15-6.
Who, the Tigers?
The Tigers. 10-run first inning after they reversed that call, made it 5-0. They put up 5 more in that inning. I think part of that...
USC's a good program, though, aren't they?
UCF.
UCF's a good program.
UCF is a good program.
USC.
I don't know their exact record off the top of my head, but they're a good team.
That's where,
good ball club.
That's where Blake Bortles' brother, who started at Ole Miss...
They're 20-12.
He transferred to UCF, I believe. Maybe that was...
For baseball?
Yeah, he went to Ole Miss. Blake Bortles' brother did.
Oh!
And I believe he transferred to UCF, didn't he?
John Rice Plumlee?
John Rice Plumlee did too, didn't he?
Oh, so...
Maybe I'm wrong.
What?
I don't know.
I know John Rice Plumlee transferred there.
Blake Bortles' brother definitely started at
Ole
Ole Miss. I believe he transferred
And
schools.
he transferred to UCF?
I don't know. I'm looking it up. Let's finish.
I didn't know that.
Colby Bortles.
Okay.
Colby Bortles earned stripes. He was drafted.
Okay.
Oh, he graduated from Ole Miss.
Close enough.
He graduated
You had
from
Ole Miss, right?
I knew he went to Ole Miss. But Jet's right, a good shout. JRP, maybe I'm thinking of John Rice Plumlee,
Probably.
honestly. JRP, John Rice Plumlee going to UCF, and he's on the ball club. Is he on the ball club this year?
He is, but I don't think he's playing, actually.
He has to set out the transfer rules?
No. Maybe he does. Maybe he does.
Rules? I thought you get one free one now. Maybe it's different in baseball.
Maybe it's different in baseball.
Well, it seems like we have a lot of expertise on this subject, so much so that it's time for a break, Bryant. When we come back, we're going to finish the show. You want to tease anything?
Maybe we'll talk play-in.
Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior, complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Golden Rose. Rose lasts long. It's TP goes, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rows in one. Lasts forever on my buns. Only super mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. As we all know, Memphis can be a hotbed for severe weather, and that weather can play havoc on our roofs. Most people don't know what they should do first when they're concerned about the condition of their roof. Call their insurance company, call a contractor, or trust a door-to-door salesman that's making claims that are hard to believe. My advice would be call the contractor that you know and trust. If you don't know any, research your local contractors and give 2 or 3 a call. I hope your research will lead you to us. Have your roof inspected, decide for yourself what you should do, and whether or not you should file a claim with your insurance company. It's your home, it's your policy, and it's your money. Don't let anyone pressure you into anything. If you give Five Ash Roofing a call, we promise personal service with a member of our family with no pressure and no hype. Five Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
It was Lou Gehrig.
I knew it was Lou Gehrig.
That's not what you said. You said Hank Aaron.
I didn't say Hank Aaron. You're trying to read my lips through the window.
And then I said look it up, and you just continued to stare at me with a blank
Because I can't
stare.
read your lips.
Oh, but you're going to chastise me for not being able to read your lips.
Well, because I said Lou Gehrig, and then you're like, it's Lou Gehrig. Obviously, it's Lou Gehrig.
Brian, it's Lou Gehrig. What are you, an idiot or something?
No, you're an idiot.
You know what a
I'm gonna
phone
look
book
it
is,
up.
Brian?
I do know what a phone book is.
you don't
We
know
used to get them delivered. The yellow pages, we used to get them delivered to the house.
Which one is for businesses? Which one's for personal?
So white pages for personal.
How did you know that?
Yellow pages for business. I told you we got them delivered to the crib.
Oh, so you knew
And
about
my parents
it.
used to look people up in the different books.
You know, a feat of strength used to be if you could rip a phone book in half.
Yeah.
You think it still is?
Maybe. Who knows?
You know what?
What?
Maybe. Probably isn't, though, because you have to be listed in the phone book nowadays.
Oh,
Brian,
nobody's listening anymore, so it's very thin. You could just rip it.
That's right. Brian, we were going to talk about the NBA play-in
Uh-huh.
tournament here that's about to get
Right.
started. We'll talk about the question that you brought 2 topics today.
I brought many topics.
I'll tell you
today.
what the second
I
topic
even brought
was.
one that I didn't tell you because two I didn't tell you because I knew you'd think they were ridiculous. So you already told me one was ridiculous.
Well, you are ridiculous. But
So.
point is here, Bryant, is let's get here before we finish here. We got to say what's going to be on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow we have some guests. Actor Jeff Goldblum, comedian Bobcat Goldthwait, and a music performance by Radiohead.
Jeff Goldblum, he's in the Apartments.com commercials.
It's a great
famously
shout.
known from the Apartments.com
It's a
commercial.
great shout that shows your age. That Jeff Goldblum is the guy from the Apartments.com commercial.
I don't know anything about Radiohead, and I don't know the second guy.
Comedian Bobcat Goldthwait?
I don't know about Bobcat.
Once lit
is
a couch.
Is it Bobcat or is it Bob?
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bobcat. So his first name is Bobcat.
Bobcat.
Like the cat, like the animal.
Once lit a couch on fire at Jay Leno.
Okay.
That's why we're just having him on the phone, so we
Right.
can't light anything on fire
Right.
in here. So listen to those guys tomorrow
Uh-huh.
and a rare musical performance on Sports 56.
I don't know
Bryant-
Radiohead. Who's Radiohead?
It's a band.
Okay.
Very popular one.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. You don't know. Bryant, we need to talk about the NBA. We talked about the last day in the NBA. I got to
did.
give some standout performances. Austin Reeves, 16 rebounds yesterday, led the league in rebounds yesterday. 31-16 for him. Jitty, John Contra had a triple-double yesterday. 13 rebounds for him.
Yeah, great game.
He had 17 famously earlier in the
See
year.
the behind-the-back pass he dished out?
Yeah, he threw one to Kyle that he
Yeah,
blew the
he blew
layup.
the layup.
Is that the one you're talking about? Okay, then yeah, I did see that. Victor Oladipo yesterday for the Heat had 40 points and 10 rebounds.
Who had
coming
somebody
back
had
strong.
51 points yesterday?
No, 42 was the lead the league yesterday. Obi Toppin had 42.
Obi Toppin, I misspoke.
He had 42 and 10, and
He
then
looked good.
KD had 20, 16, and 10, 16 assists yesterday. Led the league. But we
How
need
about
to
that?
talk about the play-in tournament here. So the play-in tournament is set.
Yep.
You have the Pelicans playing the Spurs. The winner of that goes to the next one, and then the winner of this one plays the Grizzlies, the Minnesota T-Wolves, and the Los Angeles Clippers. Bryant, so this is the question that you brought today as a topic. Who would you rather play, Clippers or T-Wolves? We talked about this on mornings.
We did. Oh, did y'all?
Yeah, well, we didn't. You weren't there, but
Right.
Eli and Greg did on mornings, and I chimed in.
Okay, good for you.
Thank you.
So you're asking me who I'd rather play?
Sure.
Probably the T-Wolves.
Are you going to give a reason or just picking one?
Just picking one. They don't have the experience of
That's
playoff
exactly
basketball.
That's what Eli said.
And so I think, playoff basketball is completely different from regular season basketball.
That's also what Greg said.
You're traveling all the time. You're playing a game, then you're hopping on a plane, and yada, yada, yada. So I think I'd rather take the more inexperienced Minnesota Timberwolves.
Well, no Kawhi for the Clippers. That's a huge factor.
That's huge.
You have Norman Powell playing well, and PG is obviously back,
PG's
and
playing
Paul
well.
George is scary always. Yeah. Robert Covington, they also
Playoff
got in that
P.
trade. I understand.
Did he get the playoff P nickname because he was bad in the playoffs?
No,
or because
he
was
gave it
good
to
in the
himself
hand?
because he's good in the
Okay,
playoffs.
I was making sure.
Because it's like when LeBron calls himself Zero Dark 23. Isn't that what he calls himself?
I don't know.
Zero Dark 30-23.
Okay.
Zero Dark 23.
You know what?
Zero Dark 6.
Maybe.
It's a good shout by you. It's a great quote. So no Kawhi, though, with the Clippers makes them a little bit easier for me to swallow. Minnesota's been a bad matchup all year.
Yeah.
For the Grizz. That one makes it scary. You got three guys that can go off at any point in time. I don't like it being one or the other because I don't want to pick either of them.
I don't either.
It's tough. They both have their relative weaknesses, the Clippers being without one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And Minnesota being young and inexperienced. And also Cat, I'm very hesitant to go ahead and, like, all of the criticisms I have about Karl Anthony Towns seem to have been diminished this year, both his hustle and work ethic and selfishness. I think a lot of that has to do with some of his teammates.
Right.
But I guess we'll see. Like
any
you mentioned,
in
it's different in the
particular?
playoffs. Well, I mean, old boy Anthony Edwards has really shaped. I mean, I think has changed him a lot. It's hard. I mean, I can't say that definitively. I don't know what's going on in the locker room, but he has an absolute attitude change based upon when Anthony Edwards has gotten there and before Anthony
In
Edwards.
a good way or a bad way?
Excellent way. He's.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
Karl Anthony Towns was notoriously, in my opinion, by a lot of opinions, the most selfish player in the NBA.
Right.
Literally, he still does this, but not to the same degree, where he would come to the bench and literally just has his face buried in the stat sheet. Wants to see how he's playing, what he's shooting. He doesn't care what's going on in the game. Anthony Edwards seems to have changed that in him a little
I
bit.
love Anthony Edwards.
But it's like you said, it's different in the playoffs. Okay. How far do you think the Grizzlies can go? This is the other question we have to answer real quick.
Well, Brett.
No, I want
won sports
Bryant.
time.
You're Bryant.
He has been winning the whole thing,
The
or at least
Grizz?
making it to the finals.
The Grizz?
Uh-huh.
How about Bryant's answer?
My answer. I mean, I think they can make it through the second round.
So get to the Western Conference Finals then.
Sure.
Very definitive the way you said that.
Look, anything can happen. It's playoff basketball. Anything can happen.
And it's a more competitive league this year than ever.
Exactly.
I mean, do I want to play the Warriors or do I want to play Denver? Which one do I want to play? I
Neither.
got home court advantage. I think Dallas, as good as Phoenix is, to Dallas.
How
Dallas
bad
to
do
me
you
is the
think
scariest team in the
Luka's,
West.
Injuries. You don't think it's anything? They were saying it wasn't anything.
I feel like that it went from being maybe we'll rest him to totally designed rest.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it was certainly an injury that took him out of that game. I think he's probably fine, but no reason playing if he doesn't need to.
Right.
Scariest team in the East, quickly, 30 seconds.
Scariest team in the end, the Boston Celtics.
Really, without Robert Williams, you're still scared of him.
Well, they say he might be back by the second round.
Yeah, earliest. But you still have to play Brooklyn or Cleveland.
That's true. No, that's tough.
And that's without Robert Williams. Man, people underestimate how good that guy is.
If they were the 3 seed, who would they have gotten?
15 seconds, I don't think. Oh, Chicago. They played Chicago.
Ugh, that was a bad draw either way.
Chicago's good. They've had a tough schedule at the end of the year. We only have 8 seconds here. My scariest team in the East is going to be Milwaukee, because why not? For Brian, I'm Jay Morgan. Next is Grind Time.